Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to talk about why it's important when you're leveling up, you're trying to do better for yourself, you're trying to be a better individual, whether it's you making more money, whether it's you adjusting or aligning more towards your values, trying to be around better influences, whatever it may be. If you have a goal and an objective to do better in life, you need to make sure that the people around you also reflect that. And when I say reflect that, it doesn't mean like necessarily that you have to have the same goals per se, but you have to be around people who are of the same mindset in order not only to just get motivation to move forward in life, but to make sure that they are not trying to hold you back. Because when you are around people who are literally not on your level mentally, in terms of drive, motivation, objective in life, they will see your growth and your drive as a threat, and they will do everything in their power to hold you back because they see it as a reflection of themselves and their decision not to do better for themselves. That's the crab in a bucket mentality where you're at the bottom, just meandering about at the bottom, like what crabs do in a bucket. And then the moment that one says, you know what, I don't really want to be down here just going back and forth, going nowhere. I want to see if I can get out of here and explore the world. The crab obviously wants better for itself, but because it lacks the confidence, strength, whatever, to say, let me try and climb up the side and get out too. Let's help each other so we can both get out. They're going to say, not so fast. You're going to stay down here and struggle with me too. Why? Because your drive and your success, and especially, God forbid, if you happen to make it out, quote unquote, making it out obviously means different things. Not everybody is from the trenches, the ghetto, whatever. But if you manage to do better for yourself, it signals to people who are at the bottom, quote unquote, that they too have the ability to make it out. It just all depends on their internal level of motivation, which many people do not have the appropriate level of motivation to improve their lives. And so they find external reasons to attach their blame to. And in the Black community, a common one is racism or inequality. Oh, I didn't get that opportunity because I'm Black. When it's like, you probably wouldn't get the same opportunity if you were any other race because of your work ethic. And a prime example of this is Glorilla. I quite frankly don't like her music. I think it's ratchet, but I really have to acknowledge the growth that Glorilla has done recently in an attempt to improve herself. So if you look at these photos of how she used to look, she used to have the typical hood booger aesthetic, the lace front, the adult baby hairs, the lamb chop lashes. And now, recently, she's changed her aesthetic to look more natural. So shorter, more natural looking hair. Natural in terms of like realistic, not like a 30-inch bust down. She doesn't have the lamb chop lashes anymore. She chose a style that softens her features and enhances them. And so all of these changes that you see here has given her a naturally feminine aesthetic. And she's also in the gym. She's very clearly committed not only to looking better, but feeling better so that she can be in better shape and better health, which would contribute to an overall improvement in the quality of her life. And people have said that she's gotten a nose job, and she probably has gotten a nose job, which I don't think there's anything wrong with it, especially what she's done here, because it looks tastefully natural. It doesn't look like something from Whoville. You know how Black people... There's this one doctor that called out, I'll play the clip here, but there's this one doctor that called out Black women for going to get the Whoville nose.
If you are a Black American looking for rhinoplasty, stop. Stop right there. It's so important to understand that majority of the times, if you're an African American, you don't need a full nose job. Majority of the times, it's just your nostrils that need to come together, and maybe the tip needs to come here. Upper portion usually is fine. So you don't need any cartilage, you don't need any rib, and you don't need to go to Turkey if you, unless you really want to. So please stop and consider just narrowing this, which is called anarplasty, and narrowing the tip, that's called tipplasty, both done under local. You don't have to go under anesthesia. It really is a piece of cake. So keep it in mind. I'll educate you more.
But whoever did Glorilla's nose job made sure that, and she chose a nose, but they both made sure that they chose something that fits her face and her features so that it looks natural and it further enhances her beauty. So job well done on that. And despite Glorilla still very much being entrenched in the Black community and making it clear that she only aligns with stereotypical Black culture, she is being dragged by the same group of people that she makes music for. And they're doing this because they're jealous of her glow up. Glorilla's ability to change her persona without even really doing much. It's not like she went on this long spiritual retreat and she took refinement classes and etiquette classes. She's done away with rap music altogether. Like, she simply just changed the way that she did her hair, her lashes, whatever, just simple cosmetic changes to improve her aesthetic and the way that she presents herself. No one had a problem with the way that she presented herself until she changed that image. And so by her detaching from the ghetto aesthetic, she's made herself unrelatable, unfamiliar, and therefore uncomfortable to people who still want to align with the ghetto aesthetic and complain about it. And you can even tell that it's jealousy even beyond the Black collective, because her family now, like her sister and some other family members, are now coming out and saying that Glorilla hasn't taken care of her family in over multiple years and her mom is still having to work and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, how come we didn't hear this complaint when Glorilla was ghetto? Because they want to humble her and remind her of where she was, where she came from. Don't forget where you came from, right? And the moment that you start deviating from the natural order of things, quote unquote, we're going to try our best to pull you back in and remind you of that by exposing you, by showing the world, oh my God, look, yeah, it's true. You know, the critique about Glorilla is true because she thinks she's so much better than us. And it's to the point where now she's not taking care of grown adults who should be doing for themselves anyway. Glorilla does not have an obligation to take care of anyone else. I know that as an aside, a lot of Black parents think that their retirement plan is in their kids. So they won't work hard themselves and work strategically to find a way to make a comfortable life for themselves in their working careers and in retirement, but they magically expect their children to do what they should have been doing or what they failed to do in their career in order to benefit them and their shortcomings. They always have all these excuses, whatever it may be, but then those excuses should not apply to their children. Their children need to work hard so that they can use them as a retirement plan. And then for the siblings, a lot of the siblings they're quite frankly lazy. Unless you were incapacitated by some degree, as an able-bodied adult, and not even just able-bodied, because there are many people who have different abilities who are still able to work and contribute meaningfully to society, but for some reason in the Black community, there's this level of laziness and entitlement where we think that other people should be working hard and we reap the benefits of that labor. And that's playing out in this scenario with Glorilla and her family. And of course, you know, as Glorilla's mom gets older, she's going to need some level of care. And I'm sure that she's aware of that and will take care of her mom in her old age. But like, that's the whole point of working and having a pension, contributing to being strategic, you know, saving whatever, so that you can have money set aside like a responsible adult so that you can take care of yourself in your retirement age. And if your children are so inclined or are able to help you and supplement whatever that you have, then they can do so. But siblings, you have absolutely zero obligation to help your grown adult siblings, cousins, nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, whatever. You have zero obligation to help them. Like zero. It's always the people, I want to make this clear distinction. It's always the people who are not, they have zero work ethic, they're lazy, they complain, whatever, right? They're the same ones who will show up on the job late. They're the same ones who don't do their job when they're on the job, right? They're like the worst employees to have, but then they always expect the most. They want to make sure that they're paid on time. They complain about not getting a raise. They complain about being overworked, even though they don't even do the basic level of work. And those are always the ones who expect a handout. There's nothing wrong with making it big and then employing your friends and your family so that they too can reap the benefits. Like a lot of people, a lot of artists in particular, like they'll hire family members to be their staff or whatever to like give them the opportunity to get exposure to other ways of living. But those family members in exchange have to have good work ethic. A lot of Black people, unfortunately, especially with this mentality, do not. And if you get offended by me saying that, then you're one of those Black people who do not have good work ethic in one way or another. That's why in 2026, Black people have failed to mobilize their resources in order to build generational wealth that lasts. This is a common experience for many Black women where you have this obligation to pay the Black tax, kind of work hard and bust your behind to get ahead, but then you need to slow down. You're being slowed down by having the obligation to rescue other people who don't want to make any effort to rescue themselves. But also this kind of anchor where you're kind of rooted in place or made to feel guilty for wanting to improve yourself, as if again to say, like, the only way that you can assert your Blackness is if you align with everybody else. And to me, that's the real racism, by telling Black women that that they can only be one thing. And, that's typically in the ghetto hood rat trenches. So they want to have especially if you go on Lipstick Alley, like, you'll hear a lot of times where like influencers, there'll be this divide where it's like, oh, you'll critique the corporate girly, for example. You'll critique the corporate girly for being too ghetto, right? But then when she makes an effort to try to improve herself, you say that she's trying too hard and that she's trying to be too white, or she's colorist because she wants to look better. She must be ashamed of her Blackness because she thinks that her Blackness is not enough. Oh, Black women are often told that they have to be exceptionally beautiful in order to be palatable. And it's like, why is it that everyone else is allowed to be the best versions of themselves, are given the space and the resources and support to improve themselves? But then when a Black woman does that in any capacity, she's told that she wants to be white, or she's told that she's colorist, or she's self-hating. Anyway, these are my thoughts on the topic. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next video.